Okay, I think we're live here shortly. 1, 2, 3. I see we're live. Okay, hi, I'm Glenn at COAF Field Team on YouTube. And this round, we're just doing some quick fishing updates on some recent happenings from yours truly. First thing we'll go and talk about, though, are some upcoming trout stockings here in our area, specifically Collin County over here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So let me go and shift over to our website here. And this is off the Texas Parks and Wildlife trout stocking schedule, and you'll see Collin County right here. Allen was stocked back in December 2022, which is what's been year in, year out. And then what's coming up next is going to be, looks like February 12th, Warren Park Lake over there in Frisco. So it's over there by the Warren Sports Complex. Let's see, February 12th? Yeah, February 12th, which is a Sunday, which means I think there's the annual Trick or Trout Derby. So I'm anticipating that it says February 12, 2023, 4,000 trout being stocked. But the Trick or Trout one's going to be February 11th, so it's going to be Saturday. So they're going to be probably stocked already by then. So, hey, stop by, take a look at it, and that's what's happening first in 2023 in Collin County. Next is going to be Town Lake and Prosper Frontier Park Pond. So you got two places happening that weekend. I believe the derbies are going to be on Saturdays again. February 19th is a Sunday. So yeah, February 18th they'll be stocked as well. Town Lake, that's that's that bigger pond over there in McKinney, just off the 75, and don't be too worried about it that it's that big of a lake. What they'll do is they'll cordon off a section of it and keep the trout there for the derby as well as for people to catch. I think they'll do it for about a week or two, and then they'll release it to the whole pond or the whole lake. And then that same weekend, you got Frontier Park Pond up in Prosper. That one has two ponds, and I think these last few years they've been stocking them in both ponds. So play that one by ear when you do that one. And the next one in Collin County is going to be Murphy City Hall Pond. That's going to be February 26, 2023 officially. Again, it's another Sunday, but it's going to be another derby on the 25th. So give that one a shot as well. So those are some key things that are happening. I did miss out on the Richardson Crowley Pond back in earlier, January 15th. That was one that I probably should have stopped by and take a look at, because I haven't fished that one in a while other than for, I think, some bass and bluegill over the summer. So that would have been a good one. Okay, so that's what's happening trout-wise in Collin County, our area. Might give that one a shot. And if anyone's on there, we are monitoring the chat, so let me just do a quick howdy. Okay. All right, let's go and shift back to, again, the quick updates, some recent happenings. So right now, let's see if I can show you real quick. I did a quick little on-site live stream piece, and, well, let's have a look at it. And this out here, look at the snow, or actually it's more ice. And this out here, look at the snow, or actually it's more ice. So a little bit kind of stuck here right now because got a little ice out here. So yeah, so you can see definitely have some issues with some ice. Little pickups got a lot of ice over there. I haven't driven it in a couple of days. Luckily, I've been able to be working remote here lately, so I not had to take that commute into work in those icy conditions. So hey, stay safe out there for those that are in the area, especially here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Looked at some of the information that they had posted online, and there's definitely a lot of icy conditions out there. Okay, so that was one that I just want to give you a quick update. Also, my most recent trip was up to Waterloo Park Pond in Denison, and this one I'll just let it run through, and I'll stop and start it at different points to indicate maybe some key things that I may have missed on the original video. So Let me go ahead and pop one in. Let's see. Oh, wait, we just got a comment. Any trips to Broken Bow recently? No, I haven't gone to Broken Bow recently. Just been sidetracked. I've been going to the Blue last year. Haven't gone this year, but am planning to make a trip eventually here. Just got to get through this time of the season, or at least this time of year. Tend to get sidetracked with the day job. All right, let me go ahead and start this one. And yours truly stopped at the local racetrack for a little coffee and a little breakfast of champions. Got the donut glaze sticks along with the fudge rounds, 2 for $4. So hey, you guys, I'll get 2 of them. And that said, I'm bringing the center pin reel and rod combo. That's that one with the switch rod. We're gonna. So what I intended to do was I was going to try using that one-handed Spey combo, or correction, the switch rod. And I mount this center pin reel and see if I can drift the float in the current up at Waterloo Park Pond. They got a fountain and there's usually a current that I could drift a fly. And when I got up there, I noticed that it was fairly windy and decided, hey, maybe it's just better to go ahead and just do some fly fishing. So that's what ended up happening there. Let's see, do you think they will stock the small pond again at Touton Lake, McKinney, or just the large one? I don't know, because I haven't been there recently, but I think last time they didn't stock the small pond because it was really dry, and I think well, it wasn't didn't have much water in it, so maybe that's why. But it's been raining here at least recently, so maybe the pond's up. So cross our fingers that they'll stock both of them. I tend to like fishing the smaller pond than the larger one, just because I think they're more concentrated there, but I've done well on both ponds. All right, let's go ahead and start this. Run up to Waterloo. It just got stocked, I believe yesterday. They had a derby, I believe, and officially they say they stocked it today, but hey, they always stock it a day early for those derbies. So let's see how we do today. Center pin style fishing. I'm here at Waterloo and switched it up. Went with the little 8 weight along with the 4 or 5 weight reel. So I had a little mistake there. I'm actually using not an 8 weight rod. It was a 4 weight rod that was 8 foot long, and I was using the 4 or 5 weight Echo Ion reel, but it was not the 200 grain OPST Commando head. It was the 175 grain. So what I've noticed is when I'm fishing a 4 weight, the 175 grain works well. When I'm fishing a 5 weight, the 200 grain works well. And then when I go with a 6 weight, the 225 grain works well. So I started out with the 200, went to the 225, and then had an extra gift card, so I went ahead and snagged a 175 grain OPST Commando head. And for those that aren't aware what the OPST Commando head is, it's basically a Skagit style shooting head. We can do one-handed Spey casting with it, and it's about maybe a 20-30 foot length of thicker, heavier weighted material, and then you attach it to a running line. In this case, I'm using a mono running line, 30-pound laser line, and it'll make a world of difference if you're trying to reduce your number of false casts and being able to cast out where you need to, reach out where the trout are. Additionally, if your back cast is clobbered, it makes a world of difference being able to do roll cast and switch cast without having to worry about a clobbered back cast. And I tend to do this more when they were stocking Turner Falls over there in Davis, Oklahoma. That was a really good setup to use because you did a lot of backcasting. And it works well on the Blue River also with some of the backcast that you do over there because of the clobbered backcast and banks and whatnot. So keep that in your back pocket if you think about the OPST Commando head. And the OPST Skagit head, we're going to be working the pond over here. So it's not the big lake, it's the little pond over here. And it looks like there's only one other person here right now. So let's go and give it a try. Pretty cool. They got a little trail thing over here now that kind of winds around. I noticed they had a little bridge thing also, and it looks like they rent kayaks out. So So the other thing I wanted to point out here is I was just using one fishing fly, and what I wanted to do was sort of show that you can just have one fishing fly, and if you just make some slight adjustments in the retrieve, the presentation, the depth, you'll find that money zone, and you'll be able to catch a limited trout or a limited fish. It kind of makes you feel better that sometimes you don't need to just change your fly, to use every fly in your fly box just to catch something. Sometimes it may be just the presentation. And so I just wanted to limit myself to just one fishing fly and make the adjustments and see if I could limit out. And, well, luckily I was able to.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Looks like they got the fountain in further this way, and I was wondering if that little deep section's still here as well as over here in the middle.
So here, I'm just kind of reiterating that when you first show up at a place, in this case it's a pond that I've been to before, but let's say I'm fishing a new place, a new river, a new pond, a lake. One of the first things to do is don't just immediately start fishing. Kind of step back and watch the area, observe the area, see what the fish are doing, see if there's any activity, see if there's any indication of maybe something saying that there's fish there or a particular pattern or location, and as well as look around and see if there's other folks that seem to be getting more bites or not, and maybe see what they're using as well. And so you just kind of get a feel. And additionally, I'm looking for, since this pond has changed when I last was there, the fountain has moved closer in to one side of the pond, so the current and the drift of that or the water may have changed and kind of made them tend to one side more than the other. And then there was a little canal, or I call it a canal, but it's more like a drop off, sort of where the feeder water or runoff goes into the pond. And typically there's a little depression there that sort of makes like an underwater ditch. And I've caught trout there before, very close to the bank, and I just wanted to see if that one was the same. And additionally, I think I later found out that when I'm fishing, it used to be this side of the pond was where a lot of them were congregating. This round, they seem to be right in front on this end, which is closer to the bank than it was in past years. And then back over here in that canal or ditch area, the fish were still doing well there, or at least I was still be able to catch a few there.
So we'll see. Indicator about 3-4 feet above the fly, and we're going to go with the near deer. All right.
Okay, and again, I'm just using one fishing fly, and as a starter, when I'm going to, let's say, fish a new place, typically I'll just start out with an indicator and drop my fly about 3 to 4 feet. Typically 3. If it's a cold day, I'll drop it to 4, and I'll start there and see what I need to make those adjustments. And then additionally, I think here's a better view of that fishing fly. Excuse me. Right here. This is the near deer. Let's see if I can get it there. Right there. Let's see. So that's the near deer. Let's see, yeah, there you go. So very simple tie, more like a woolly bugger, but I'm using a jig fly head and whatnot, and it did well. And this one's barbless, as well as I kind of bent it a little bit when I inadvertently hooked someone that was walking behind me. So luckily I didn't hurt him. But that fly is the fly that I used in this initial start of the trip.
All right, let's try it. All right, let's just see what happens. Oh, there's a hit. All right, they're here.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for that one, but luckily the second cast I was able to get him.
Nice. All right. All right, first trout is in the creel. Show you real quick.
And they weren't that big.
Right. Nice
little
start.
stalker trout, but enough to make a breakfast.
See if we can get another one.
Welcome to the land
Let's just skip over this piece here.
And
okay.
Rig I'm using is the OPST Skagit head with the 30-pound laser line, one-handed Spey style, 8-foot 4-weight. See if we can get another one. All right, there's a hit. All right, number 2 hoo-hoo. All right, not bad. Let's try it again. Looks like we won't have to do any tandem rig or anything. We'll just cast it out and let the fish do the work. Casting into the wind and just letting it drift along with the current as well as the wind. And they seem to be doing the rest. And it's a little bit chilly today. I think it's like in the 20s. Oh, just missed that one. Toss it back out here again. Thought it was going to be warmer, but I guess the front moved in already.
And so I'm fishing in this case, and I'm not doing any movement on the fly. I'm just doing a dead drift. I'm casting it, and I'm actually just letting the wind, the current, put the action in the fly, and letting that in this case the near deer do its thing. Question from one of the viewers, P.W. Harris. Does it help with those rubber legs? I've tied some with the near deer. We added those rubber legs, similar to what a patch rubber leg is. And I noticed on some days, especially with the blue, that the difference between getting more strikes than not was having those rubber legs. And it was especially on those cold days where they were tending deep, and I was going 4 to 5 feet off an indicator or below an indicator, and giving no motion. It was just a dead drift. Just let it drift, and just that slight little rubbery legness I believe was making the difference. I've done it before where I've got one fly without the rubber legs, I got another fly with the rubber legs, and next thing I know, one without the rubber legs is not getting bit. So yeah, I would say at times it does. In this case, I didn't need to. I did tie this one with a Palmer wrap instead of the dry fly wrap, and so it had a little up more bugginess to it. Let me see if I can grab it here real quick again. Yeah, right here. Let me show you. Okay, so let's see if I can get it right there. So you can kind of see. Let me see if I can get closer. Yeah, I don't have my other camera up. So right here, if you can just basically sense this little grizzly hackle. I'd say it's about three times the width of the body itself. Let's see. Come on. There we go. See that? There's a piece of other feather from the tail on there, but you can see how big that is. So sort of like a rubber leg and whatnot. Let's see, someone's on the deal here. Yeah. Give me a second. I got to go and block someone. You get some folks jumping on here, and you got to end up keeping them from doing stuff. So, and what it is you'll get people joining, and then they'll start adding some things to your live stream, which is basically annoying. So I just got to go and navigate to the stream here, and I should be able to block them real quick. So just bear with me, please. Let's see. Okay, I don't see it right now. All right, it's not showing up on this one. Let's see. No, not that one. Here we go. All right, let's just fix this real quick. All right. Yeah, well, while we're here, might as well see if you have anything you want to talk about. I think I've got them blocked now, so. All right, let's go on. Right here. Okay. So here I am.
All right, there we go. Nice. There's a little one. Yeah, he's a little one. I think I'm gonna let this one go back. Whew, it's chilly. Hands are frozen already. There's another hit. Oh, I'm sorry. I hooked you. I didn't see you,
I should have been clearing my back
pass.
pass.
A slight delay. Gotta watch behind me, the people coming up. Alright. I think I should have brought my gloves. There's a hit.
Missed again, mojo is off. And luckily I do a quick recast for a do-over. And I watch the indicator closely, and in short order, I'm gonna get another chance.
Not very far. There we go. He's on. Fish on. Alright, number 3. He. And I'm really not doing any movement. Oh, there's a hit. There's the hit. Nice. Alright. Oh, and he's down. Man down. Man down. Wonder if I should take the indicator off. I think they're hitting it no matter what. There's a hit. There we go. There's the hit. Another little guy. Little Panchito. Hitting nicely. May take that indicator off.
So here I'm trying different patterns and retrieves, doing a twitchy move, even thinking about taking that indicator off.
Alright, this one feels bigger. Maybe we'll keep this one. Alright, not getting it on the indicator, even though I'm getting a lot of hits, so I'm gonna take the indicator off and see what happens. Alright, no indicator. Just gonna watch the end of our line.
Okay, so I've taken the indicator off and I'm trying a twitchy retrieve now where I'm doing short pulls of the line, and I switch over to a kind of a sweeping retrieve, slow movement from left to right, and then I'm giving a little twitch. Getting a hit here or there, and I'll keep trying again. And this one I'll take up the line and feeling for that twitchy retrieve. I'm looking at the end of my line. I'm also able to see the end of my fly line.
There's a hit. Oh man. Pretty quick too.
Here I've recast. I'm doing short pulls of the line. I'm looking at the line, hoping for a bite, and sure enough I'll get one here shortly.
There's a hit. God, finally. Finally. Alright, no indicator.
Okay, here's another angle of what yours truly is doing. I'm casting the line out there, fly, and I'm doing short pull retrieves initially. Also a little twitch at the end, a little hesitation, see if I can get them to strike. See if the fly is kind of sinking and the trout is striking on the sink. And try different patterns throughout the morning using this one, the short pulls, as well as letting it sink and that hesitation, as well as what I end up kind of settling on is this sweeping motion, or slow sweeping retrieve from left to right with my right hand. And I think you'll be able to see it here shortly, where I'm just kind of moving it barely through the water. I don't have that indicator, and I'm looking for the tightening of the line or the movement on the end of my line, and sure enough I'll get a hookup. So this is one good example of that retrieve, or at least the pattern that I ended up settling with, and seemed to be more consistent overall.
Alright, I put another near deer, but this one has a barb on it, so maybe yours truly just needs a little helpy. I already got 4 in the bag. I'm just kind of playing around now. No indicator. I'm going to try that move where I'm just kind of dragging it slowly and watching for the strike. Oh, there's the hit. Alright, there's one on. I guess I do need to Oh, well, I lost that one too. Just right there, flipping around. All right, let's do that again. Oh, well, I got a hit.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny. I wasn't ready for that one. I just cast and I just tossed out the fly in the water, had some line on, extended out, and I was just kind of reeling it back in a little bit, and next thing you know, something hit it. So they were definitely wanting to strike something. In this case, it was on a drop. So probably explains why I was just getting some of the near misses or missed hook sets where they were just barely tapping at it. And when I was setting the hook, it was basically too late. They went ahead and moved on. And I think there's another portion in this video that gives you a good idea of that retrieve I was using. In this case, I just call it a slow sweep from the left to the right. You cast it out and you just watch your line as you move it slowly from left to right and look for that indication of a strike. In the case of an indication of a strike, it's basically your line moving forward because the fly just got taken by that trout. So you should see it here shortly.
You hit it while I was not paying attention. All right, let's bring him in. Another little guy. Little one.
Okay, here's a good example of where I'm watching the line near my rod tip for that strike. I do this when I can't see the end of my fly line and I'm fishing without an indicator. So if you just kind of see the words disappear here shortly.
So right when those words disappear, look right at this line right here and watch how it moves. And that is the indication of a strike that I was describing. So let me roll it back here. So once you see these words disappear, that soon after you'll see that indication of a strike where that line gets pulled.
I do this when I can't see the end of my fly line and I'm fishing without an indicator. So if you just kind of see the words disappear here shortly, look for that strike. There it is.
There's the hit.
All right, did you see it? So it's just a slight movement in the line. I'm not looking where the fly is or where the fly end of my fly line is. Instead, I'm looking at the line that's closer to me. I'm doing that left to right slow sweep, and I saw that indication of a strike when I saw that line move forward just slightly, and boom, I got him. So that seemed to be working for me for the remainder of the trip, and then I decided to mix it up again and add some more, the strike indicator later.
That one took nicely. Another little guy. Here there's like a little canal drop off, and
so as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, that's what I was describing is right over here. This fountain used to be closer in this way. Now it's a little bit more to the right, closer to this bank, but that little feeder piece runoff that goes into the pond, there's a little depression right here. And that's where I've caught trout on days when I couldn't get them out here. They were over here just kind of lingering, and sure enough, I was able to find them in this trip. Let me go ahead and start that one up again.
I just want to see if there's anything still lurking here, since that fountain is way back there now. So let's see how this goes. I'm going to put the indicator back on. My fingers are freezing, and it's cold. Deceivingly cold. Do a slow sweep to the right.
So in this case, I have that indicator on. I'm still doing that slow sweep to the right from left to right, and I'm watching the indicator, but at the same time, I'm kind of flipping back and forth and looking at the end of my line too. And if I see that indication, I'm going to set the hook. And you should see that here shortly.
And there's a hit. Yep. They're still here in the little canal area too. Nice. Okay. Good to know.
Okay, so I've settled on that pattern. Even with the indicator, I'm just doing that slow sweep to the left, to the right with my right hand and getting that hook up.
There we go. Fish on, fish on.
And let me wind it back a little bit and see if I can give you an idea how close they are. So I've cast out here, and then I've brought it in, and right now you don't really see the indicator, but it's right here. right about here. And when I get that strike, I believe it's going to be fairly close to shore. I'd say maybe 15 feet, maybe 10 feet, that close.
Slow sweep to the left, to the right with my right hand and getting that hook up.
There we go. Fish on.
So you don't have to
fish
cast
on.
far. You just got to get the fly presented to where the trout are lurking. And in this case,
All right.
they're still in that little
Near deer
depression.
is working well today.
Here's one where he hits before I even start that retrieve.
All right, got him. Got him.
Okay, so that one was weird. At the beginning, they didn't want any retrieve. Next thing you know, I needed to do a little slow sweep to the left. Additionally, I tried some twitchy retrieves as well as letting it sink. And at the tail end, I fished there for about an hour. At the tail end of the hour, they kind of slowed down a little bit, and I didn't get any bites for probably a good 10 minutes. Got to this section again, and now they didn't want any retrieve again. It was just basically cast it out and just let the indicator kind of drift with the current, the wind, and let them strike.
Oh, he's little though. Let's see if we can get a bigger one.
So taking the cue from that last hit, I'll just go ahead and let the fly kind of just settle in there and sit without having to retrieve it, and I get another hook.
All right, that one's on. I think that'll be the one I'll keep for number 5.
I ended up not keeping it. I decided to go ahead and try getting another one.
Number 5.
One that was bigger.
I ended up throwing that one back and decided to try to catch another one.
There we go.
Okay, and I tried something different this round. I went and put my reel the other way, so I'm retrieving with my...
So what I'm describing there is normally I cast... In fact, I got it right here. Normally, for forever, I would cast with my right, and then I'd switch to my left hand and reel in with my right hand. So cast with my right, reel with my right. So I had that little flip-flop between hands when I fished. And I spin fish, and I normally will reel in on the left. But for fly fishing, for some reason, I just did it that way. And then I took up center pin fishing, which you do this thing called a Wallace cast, where you take the line and you cast it by pulling back, sort of like a double haul. And then you come back with the line to make sure you didn't have any get a backlash. Because I had this center pin reel in my right hand casting, and the center pin has the reel here, I got used to retrieving with my left hand. So hey, maybe that's another benefit of taking up the center pin fishing, is being able to switch hands. So now I'm pretty comfortable doing the standard way that I've been doing over the years. Cast with my right, switch to my right, or switch the rod to my left and start reeling in with my right. I still have that good feel sensation, but now I can also cast with my right, reel with my left, and not have to swap rods or swap the rod. So hey, I see why people do that. All right, let's go back and
left hand
close out
and
the
cast it
video.
with my right hand. I kind of do it weird. I normally cast with my right hand and also retrieve my right hand, so I end up switching my rod from one hand to the other. So in this case, I tried something different, and it feels okay.
All right. All right, well, right-handed retrieve, or right-hand cast, left-hand retrieve, wasn't bad at all. This near deer's been beat up, but hey, it's working. Okay, well, we got a bag of 5 in here on that OPSD Skagit Head 4-weight 8-foot Reddington Pursuit. Had this for years now.
Alrighty, so that was a trip. I was there for about an hour. It was cold. I didn't even dress appropriately. Luckily, I had some extra clothes in the little pickup truck, and I was able to at least stay warm enough to get a limit. In this case, I was using just one fishing fly, the near deer, and I was just changing my retrieve, just seeing what I can do. to get it in, at least to find the pattern. In this case, it was several patterns. One being the no drift, just let the current and the wind do the action to the fly, and then later on the slow move as well as some of the sinks, and let it twitch and whatnot. And ended up let's see, I ended up cooking it. I think I've got a recipe thing that I did for it way back. Let me see, under the community channel piece. Let me switch over. Okay, right there. All right, so I kept it simple in this case when I cooked it. Just did it over the little propane stove thing in the back. It was kind of chilly that day. They weren't the biggest, but they definitely were tasty. And when I cooked them, it was just a simple garlic salt. Yeah, garlic salt and black pepper. And then I still had some of these little Thai chilies that I dried from over the growing season last year. Put them inside the cavities, cooked them up, and well, made a tasty breakfast. All right. So that is pretty much all for now this round. And again, just like to thank y'all for joining today in the live stream, and hopefully I can get back out there here after the ice storm passes, and maybe I'll be able to make another trip. Cross my fingers I make it back to the blue here sooner than later. And like earlier what PW Harris said, Broken Bow, love that place, like to go back there also. But we also have February Collin County apparently is the place to be when it comes to catching some of these stalker trout over here in Collin County. Let's see, do you ever use midges on the blue? Yes, I have used midges. Typically, I usually use a midge as on a tandem rig, where I'm trailing it behind either that near deer or a woolly bugger or other streamer. And I tend to do that when I notice I'm not getting hits on that streamer, or I'm getting some hits, and I'm noticing there's things that are feeding about, or something's hatching, but the trout are not actually breaking the surface. They're kind of feeding, but they're staying under. At that point, I'll switch to a midge, and typically tandem rig, because I want to get it down to where they are. In other cases, when I do see them, having one of those, I don't know what it's called, a hatch. What happens is the temperature drops down below freezing as the day progresses, and it gets above freezing. These little tiny midges, size 22 size midges, and all it is just black tying thread and a little piece of antron to simulate that air sac that they have. I'll use it then also. And the reason why I did it is, let's see, I think I still have it here. Right here. I learned it from this deal here when Barry Schrader and Chris Adams and Ralph James put this little CD together on fishing flies on the blue. I got it over there at Scotty's. They got some great information here. I think I posted some other info on this on the site as well. And in there, they talk specifically of that black midge, and it explained some of the issues I was having when it came to seeing these trout feeding on something and none of them wanted my fly. The key there also is I've been before where I see with my polarized glasses, I'll see basically hundreds of trout that were all just kind of sipping something under the water surface, and they did not want anything in my fly box. And it turned out that's what they were feeding on, this little tiny black midge that happens on the blue. Temperature drops down below freezing. As it goes up, that's when that hatch happens. The other time I'll use midges dry is when I start seeing them feeding on the surface. Typically, as you're fishing in some areas, look off near the bank in some cases, and you'll just kind of see them kind of slurping or popping, feeding off of these hatching flies. I don't know what they are exactly, but about a size 16, size 18 midge. It's not the pattern that matters. It's more of the color and the size of the fly. So I'll try either catching one with my net and see if I can take a look at one, what's the general color of that fly or that midge, as well as what's the size of it. And I'll definitely look into my fly box and see if I can find one. In fact, here, let's see. Oh, let me grab it. I got it in my closet here, my other box. All right. Let's see. Okay. So there's all these different things, and the one I was talking about is right. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Very tiny. Let's see. Right. Oh man, it's gonna be tough. Yeah, it's gonna be tough to show you. But it's basically on a size 20. This is a size 20 hook, and it's just a piece of black tying thread, Dacron tying thread, and a sliver of Antron right there. Yeah, it's Antron fiber right there, and it just sits just under the surface, and when that hatch happens, that's all they're going to hit. Wing bug is made of Antron yarn. Correct. It's just Antron yarn, but it's just pieces of it, and very easy to make. And unfortunately, it's usually when you don't have it is when they're biting. So, anyways, yeah, that's when I use midges. General color of the midge, and the size of it, and where it's feeding on the, or where the trout are feeding on the surface, or somewhere on the, or just subsurface, will depend on how I adjust as well. In general, I'll take a Griffiths gnat and just take grizzly hackle and tie them in different sizes, a 12, a 14, more like a 14, 16, 18. I have those ready. And especially when I'm fishing over here at the local pond that we have, Bethany, at a certain time of night, right between 5, 6 o'clock, the trout seem to be just tearing up something feeding or hatching. And I'll have those flies with me. And I'll start out with a larger one, the 14, if I think that's that size. And then I'll just keep adjusting down until I get a consistent bite. Let's see. There's another one that I put together, and I think I have it, a video on how I tied it. It's called the PMC, Plain Mayfly Caddis Emerger. And this one I made, it was on the blue also. Let's see. I don't know if you can see that one too well. Yeah, it's all beat up. But basically, I took a streamer hook. This one looks more like a 12, 14, and I bent it up, tied it as if I was tying a Griffiths gnat in the middle here, and then the rest is like one of that Antron midge, and built that up. And then I put a little foam cell thing there, and what happens is it kind of floats like this on the water surface, and sometimes that's the only thing they're wanting as well. So that's been a good one to have midge wise. So did that answer your question? Okay. Yeah. All right. I got a break for now. Again, thanks for joining. And if you do have any follow-up questions, just add it to the comments, and I'll see if I can answer them for you. Or if not, maybe get you an answer. All righty. All right. So all for now. Thanks for stopping by. Till next time, we'll catch y'all later. And good luck and good fishing.